Well, being that we are about children as the Kiwanis organization, I've invited different key people from our school district who are instrumental in providing some of the really good programming we have at our school district. Next week's speaker will be Tanya Spoonholz, and she will be bringing a couple of her students from the forensics program, so we'll get to hear what they do, and it's always quite impressive in my opinion. So that's what we have for next week. And today I would like to introduce my wife, Marie Magnan. She has been the teacher for the CNA program here at the school district for the last 13 years. Every year they put out 8 highly motivated, well-trained people who are excited about going into the medical field. I know that firsthand from hearing from Marie, but I also see it in practice. A lot of them go on to more than just being a CNA, but other medical professions. And one of the things that I think is very important about the program is that it teaches people how to care about other people. The world we live in, I think we lack that. It's always about what can I do for myself, you know, and to be other-oriented instead of self-focused is an important component of what that program does. So with that, I'll turn it over to Marie. Thank you for being here, Marie.
And I would like to introduce one of my students, Isa Linetti, who is there every morning for me at 7 a.m. So we'll come and talk a little bit up here. Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Kiwanis does so much for the community, and we're very blessed with a great community. So, well, first of all, Isa and I are just going to talk a little bit about our class, but I want to give you a little background to start with. Just if you wouldn't mind giving this pile to the first one and then this one to Dr. Thomas. This is just, so initially when I was asked to do this, I thought I should bring a student or some students that have gone through the program, and after being in the program have maybe moved into a medical field. And we have a lot of them. We have several students that are PAs, physical therapists, you name it, a couple that are in medical school right now. And so it's a great opportunity for students to start exploring the medical field, exploring, like what Tom said about the healthcare field. And we've been very, very, very fortunate to provide this in-house at our school district during our school day, sort of. I'll explain that. But not have to travel, take it in the summer, take it at night, where a lot of our other surrounding high schools have tried to get this program and have not been able to fit it in their school day. And the students still have the opportunity to take the class, but they have to take it in the summer or in the evenings during their school year. So I'll just give you a quick history. It started out back in 2007 when Steve Peterson called me on the phone one day when I was in my office as a school nurse and said, we have an ITV class, called a CNA ITV class, that we are doing from WITC over the airways. The instructor was teaching like I teach every morning, and then they're supposed to go to clinicals, but they forgot they didn't have a clinical instructor, and so Steve said, could you help us out and do the clinicals? I'm like, I've really not got any experience in that, but okay, I'll do it. And I said, well, when do you need me? And they said, like right now, and this was like around Thanksgiving, and they only had to be done before the first of the year with their clinicals. It was a kind of a rough start to that, but we did it, and that program lasted for 2 years through WITC on an ITV format. That went away because WITC is way up in New Richmond, and they decided that we were not in their service areas, so it went away. But I continued to teach for them, like in the summer. I had to get experience with this when I was up and running, so I just did a little bit in the summer. And there was a very nice lady out of Hudson who worked with work students in the summertime. And I would ask her, I'd like to get this back in the high school. How would we make this work? And she said, I'll help you. And so the two of us kind of put our heads together and talk to the DPI and try to figure out how we could bring this back into our classroom setting. Well, at that time, around 2009, they wouldn't allow somebody, even though I had a bachelor's degree in nursing, to teach in the high school without a teaching degree. So we got an emergency license, and then I went back to school a little bit on the weekends, and we got our program started. At that time, it was just, it was really not under anything. It was transcripted credit. It turned into transcripted credit, which I think Dr. Spicuzza could explain better than I could, but it's a little bit different than what we currently have. It was still a high school credit and a college credit. So this course, because it's taught at the community college level, students that take it at community college get 3 college credits. When we combine it and have high school students taking it, they get dual credit. They get three credit, or their credits for their high school for the course, and 3 college credits. Those college credits are transferable when they want to go to college as their freshman year. They can send that college transcript on with not just my class, but a lot of the other classes that we now offer at the high school that are high school academy classes and transcripted credit classes. So welding, some chemistry, what's some other ones, Doctor?
There's food. Basically, almost every department now has science, math, English. Yep, transcripted.
And medical terminology is another one. So there's a lot of great opportunities for high school kids. So you two, freshmen and sophomore over here, have you taken any transcripted as sophomores? Can you? Maybe not. Can you? So look at that. It's a great program. So the past couple of years, we then switched from transcripted credit to what they call high school academy. Now things have changed, and people can come in and teach if they have an expertise in a certain field. They don't need to have a teaching degree anymore. So that's what the high school academy has brought to us, is the ability to have people come in and teach that maybe teach at the technical college level but don't have a teaching degree. So just a few facts about high school academy is basically it's a career pathway. The school district pays for that through some grants and some other payer sources that they may get to help reimburse some of that cost. They have to go to an orientation, and they have some technology. They are not just doing high school technology. They're in the college campus doing what we call Canvas, which is their software program for their students, videos, learning lessons, all kinds of things. So they're really they are a CBTC student as well as being a high school student. Any questions so far about that part of the, okay. They also have the college services for early alert. So if a student is struggling, I, as a high school student or teacher, can let the CBTC know, and they will send either by phone or personal appointments to work with that student to see what support they can give them from CBTC's services. There are some differences too. They have some FERPA, it's kind of like your information privacy thing, so that high school teachers and college teachers can communicate back and forth if they need to, and parents too can access grades. So the courses do transfer to as a college record. I think that's pretty much it. So the other thing I wanted to just give you a little groundwork is that my course is a different course than a lot of the other ones because we are regulated, as is welding. We are regulated through the state of Wisconsin to have certain criteria for the students to make through their course, or they cannot complete it and they cannot take their certification test. So I did bring our syllabus along just to give you a course description of what this course is. It combines classroom, conducted in the high school classroom and lab, clinical practice in skilled nursing facility, which we do at the nursing home here in town. The students have an additional 12 hours of video instruction, which is viewed at home or in study hall or some other place. The coursework that we do in our course covers basic body function and structure, nutrition, nursing care procedures, ethical and legal considerations, It's recognized by the Wisconsin Department of Health and Human Services and a nursing assistant home health aid training program. Upon completing the course, the students will be prepared to successfully complete the Federal Nursing Assistant Certification exam. And that's not easy. They have to really work hard at this. So the core abilities that they have, which are part of CBTC's foundation, is to model integrity, to think critically, to communicate effectively, to value diversity. And they have a whole bunch of program outcomes. Communication with our patients, our residents, the people we care for, maintaining and protecting residents and patients' rights, how to report and record, how to demonstrate ethical and legal responsibilities of the nursing assistant. They have to be able to perform basic nursing skills, know how to provide personal care and hygiene, and assist with client rehabilitation and restorative care, promoting independence and with client limitations. So I always tell students when they take the course, it's about becoming a CNA, and a lot of the textbook and focus is about long-term care and taking care of patients in a nursing home, which is great. But that also allows them to work in a hospital if they're interested in other kinds of work, clinics, other places. It also is a great place for them to learn about healthcare. So maybe they take the course and halfway think, I'm not really a hands-on, kind of a nursing person, but I hope that they learn about being an advocate for themselves or their families or their friends, navigating the healthcare system. The other thing I am excited about is in this day and age, everything that you look at in healthcare has so much to do with our country, doesn't it? I mean, it's in the news all the time. It's so exciting, healthcare is. You have so many venues that our students can look into. They can do research, they can be involved in public health. It's just endless. And so we try to bring that into our class a little bit and talk about some of those things. I've talked enough, haven't I? Just like every morning. So the big thing is that these kids start 7 a.m. So they're on the road at 6:30. This is the first one in the classroom every day. Very highly motivated students. We've had a great pass rate and great outcomes for our students. I had invited another student to come that has gone through the program, so you could get a taste of both someone that's in the program and somebody that has gone through the program. And so she wrote a letter, so Izzy's going to read that. It's Mackenzie Hooper, who graduated last year. As Tom was saying, we have 8. We have to limit it to 8 students every year. And all 8 passed last year, and all 8 will pass this year.
So the letter starts out, you should have a copy. Last year, I was lucky enough to take the CNA class to the high school. I knew for years that I wanted to pursue a healthcare profession once I graduated high school. So having the opportunity to take this class and work in the medical field before I even started college was such a blessing. This summer, I worked full-time as a CNA at Christian Community Homes in Hudson. Even though I was nervous to begin working, I felt prepared and excited because I was confident that my classroom and clinical hours set me up for success in the nursing home setting. Being a CNA is the most rewarding experience I have had. Not only do I get to assist my residents in living their best lives every day and with the little tasks they cannot do by themselves, but I get to laugh and cry and share jokes and ice cream breaks and celebrate every moment with them. This class isn't about the tedious little tasks. But it sets students up to truly experience something that you cannot get anywhere else. The residents I work with at the nursing home have become some of my favorite people to spend time with because of all I've learned from them too. Originally, I had intended on pursuing a pre-medicine track in college at the University of Minnesota, but after a year in school and working as a CNA, I've decided to transfer to Eau Claire to pursue a career in nursing in hopes to work either in the pediatric or school setting. If it weren't for this class opportunity, I strongly believe I would not have had the privilege of meeting such inspiring nurses as Mrs. Magnan and the nurses I've worked alongside with at CCH. These role models, and specifically this class, have truly helped inspire me and helped me find my dream job.
I paid her a lot of money to write that. So he said, do you have any reflections as far as like, we're fairly like almost in the middle of our classroom and lab section. So we've been very, very blessed to have a lab in the back of one of the classrooms. It's actually the ALC. Yeah. And there's 2 study rooms in the back, and so we have a simulated patient's room in each of those 2 back rooms, so 2 hospital beds. We had to rigorous list of things to have in that lab that the state of Wisconsin demanded we have, so we've got lots of equipment and lots of stuff. So the kids get some lecture, and then we practice skills, all that good stuff.
It's just a really good opportunity, especially with how competitive getting into schools are these days. Having the opportunity to get something on your transcript like that, and being able to have a job that's really good, well-paying. It's like $15 an hour at some parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota. Is really like up for other students who are just getting out of high school with maybe little transcript credits or have to work at restaurants and other manual labor jobs. So it's just really good step up. Even if you don't want to go medical, it's also really good to learn how to care for people, even if they're just your family.
Yeah. We have also formed a great partnership with Prescott Nursing Home, who, they go through a lot of struggles with not having enough help like everybody else in restaurants and every business. They love it when students come because we take a little bit of their load and off of their plate that night. It also, I think, gets us very connected with the community nursing home, which we want to keep in town here. I mean, we really want to keep. It's like losing a pharmacy, and now if we want to keep that nursing home, it's a great resource for people that can come and visit their loved ones and not have to drive way out of town. So.
I'm really excited. We haven't started clinicals yet, but we will at the middle of March.
Yep. Friday the 13th. Yes.
How many schools in Wisconsin are doing this? Do you have any
Well,
idea?
there were really not very many at all to start with because of that teaching requirement, to have a teaching degree. But there are some schools that have, Dr. Spikuza helped me out there. They're, what do they call the schools that are like charter schools, I think, that had some health campuses? There were some of those. I know Altoona's had a program for a long time. Altoona is one that has had a program. They have been able to do that. I know several years ago, Hudson River Falls and Ellsworth were interested in getting it. It's just really hard. Ellsworth has block scheduling, finding room in their building and all the equipment, and getting kids to start. I mean, we've got something started here that the kids are willing to come at 7 a.m. So that's another roadblock, because we do 0 hour, and now we tack on an hour after that, which gives us a 2-hour class, which is perfect. This is really perfect. I teach at CBTC in the summer and a little bit in the fall and what have you, and their classes are 5 hours long at night. So the students that have to go to River Falls for the class, it starts at 3 and ends at 9. So they have a long night. That's talking and doing all what we do in 2 hours, 5-hour stretches. In the summertime, it's 4 hours, 4 days a week.
How many hours total do they have to get to become certified as a CNA?
I should have said that to Marcia. So it's 120 hours is required by the state of Wisconsin. Out of that, 48 hours are clinicals, 60 hours are lab and classroom time, and 12 hours are video time. If we miss 1 hour, we have to make it up. So they can't, there's no wiggle room. You have to make up all 120 hours.
Is yours like a whole year?
It's a semester long.
Just a semester?
And the beauty is it's spring semester every year, which is a nice time, I think, for a variety of reasons. It's a little bit, the beginning of the new school year is always a harder time to manage something like this.
So you offered the second semester?
Just second semester. And that seems to have filled the needs.
And how many students do you have this?
8 is the maximum.
And you usually get those 8?
We usually have a waiting list.
Wow, that's great. And are they mostly seniors?
They should be seniors, but we have had a few juniors. The problem is that when they finish the program, they have to be 18 years old to work. So if they take it as a junior and they're a young junior, There's only 2 years that when you pass your certification test, that you can actually keep that certification without having to take the course over. And so if they're really young and they can't work for 2 years, they're not going to be able to keep their certification. So.
Do you have any idea how many have gone on in the profession?
Oh, I wish I could take the time to go through I have a lot of paperwork, and I don't know if the guidance counseling office keeps track of that, but a lot in ultrasound, physical therapy, and we have 2 students. Dylan Kimmen was our valedictorian last year, or the year before? Year before, 2 years ago. He was trying for to get in medical school down in Madison. Elise Lewis, who was a junior, she is in medical school right now. Mindy Muchler is a PA out in Boston. Who?
Ashley?
Yes.
Yeah, she's over down in Madison trying to get
Medical school, yep. A lot of them have gone into different things.
What's the ratio of male to female in your student?
None this year. None this year. Usually I've had one student that's a male in every class, not every year, but sporadically. But if you go to the college campus, it's a much higher ratio of guys. And the other piece, when you go to the college campus and take it, there are mixed age groups as well. So sometimes it's people returning to college, starting a new career. I had, last summer, I had a student that had at least her, not her master's, but her Bachelor of Science in Chemistry or something, and she was coming back to go to nursing school at CBTC. So she was taking this entry-level course. And so you see a variety of levels of students on the campus.
And you said we've been doing it for how long? 8?
Well, we started in 2007, and there was a year that we didn't have a class, and now I got it.
A lot of years, yeah. Thank you. It's a good, wonderful program to be able to offer to our students.
CBTC has been a very great support, and we have great students. Every year I just have the best students, and they're there every day. Yeah. When people say that high school kids aren't, responsible, I would beg to differ. Super, super responsible. So, very proud of them. All right.
Thank you so much.